Hello everyone, I'm RecV5.
And I am Sandman99.
And welcome back to Diablo 2 PC Paladin playthrough.
Yeah, and now that you got the sharp pointy thing that you took from... Well, who was it?
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yeah, Fisto. Then you gotta go and destroy it on the doohickey of magic or something, right?
That's right, we gotta go and destroy it on the Hellforge.
Yeah.
And also, in addition to that, I also ended up collecting... Well, I ended up doing a little bit of shopping off camera. I got some new armor with some lightning resistance. Some super cold resist boots. Alright, which allowed me to switch some of my other equipment around.
Wow, they got felt liners in them or what?
Yeah, or something. And then there's this random club that we picked off of Mephisto there.
Mm-hmm.
There's the 9 to 44 damage with the very fast attack speed. I'm not sure if I'll use it because our thing here does, so this does 136 to 367 with a very fast attack speed for us. Whereas our Maul does 325 to 496 damage with a slow attack speed. Oh, I'm not exactly sure, but we also got some different stuff here, right? So like I got to remove, like switch around all of our rings and everything as well. So, you know, there was all kinds of things because of that shopping, and I even picked up some other stuff that I put in the stash, like super lightning resist boots, I guess my rubber boots.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, there were a couple of other items that I ended up picking up, but I was just basically going back and forth to the store off camera and just looking for items that would give me more resistance. So now we're at 75% fire resist, 75% cold resist, 70% lightning resist, and 44% poison resist if we have the shield. When we use the two-hand, it drops to 69 for cold resist and 61 for lightning resist, but those are still very good for this point in time. Obviously, I'd like to get it up even higher. There's a couple of things I would want to do to get it up even higher, but it's not that big of a deal. And also, I bought this Maul, which if we ever get to 99 strength, I have no idea when we're going to get to 99 strength, because we're going to be increasing our health for a long time yet. But if we do get to 99 strength, this thing does 53 to 81 damage, which is a boost over our 39 to 66 there, which means we'll be doing like 600 points of damage a strike with a single hit, if we can get there. And then I also bought this plate mail, lightning resist plate mail. Can't remember why I'm using this lightning resist light plate. Oh, I know why. Because the light plate isn't that much different from this armor, and it's lighter, which means we can move faster.
Oh.
Actually, I might not have even bought that. I might have found that. Can't remember now. I wanted to switch to like a fire resist breastplate at one point, or something like that. I had different ideas, but it would be very nice to be able to use, say, something like Gothic plate at some point. That'll be an upgrade for us because we do have 70 strength. Or eventually, I think the next big armor upgrade breakpoint is at 100 strength. So again, we're going to need to get to 100 strength at some point. It's not going to happen anytime soon. We need more hit points, more hit points, more hit points. So yeah. Anyways, our hireling on the other hand, he's still doing fine. His base resistances for everything are 60. If he encounters I don't even remember what the hell they're called, one of the greater evils like Mephisto, Diablo, he's just gonna die anyways, so it doesn't really matter. We need to get him a new polearm though one of these days, so hopefully we find one. Something like a pike, or another thing that does a lot of damage. But he has the fire resistance though, so he can at least stand toe-to-toe with these guys and not get creamed.
Ah. What were those?
Those were Venom Lords. They're a Balrog type enemy, similar to the Balrogs that appeared in Diablo 1. Oh. But they're, I guess, a bit more common in Diablo 2, and also actually present, unlike in the PlayStation version of Diablo 1, where Balrogs just don't exist.
Oh, okay, that might explain why I didn't know what they were.
Yeah, I don't know if we saw Balrogs in the PC version of our Diablo PC Warrior playthrough.
I don't remember seeing them.
We may have seen them. They look pretty much identical to that. But, yeah, I don't know. Ooh, superior giant axe with sockets. It's only one socket. Doesn't matter. I'll try out this club for a little while just to see what it does.
Wow.
You know, the club swings like this. And this swings like this.
I don't know. Depends on what your DPS would be, I guess.
Well, I think that's 136 to 367 times 2, so that would be like 272 to I don't know, 734 or something. I don't know. I can't really do math in my head. So probably this is the higher DPS weapon, and with the shield it gives us the better defense. But we have to strike twice as often with it, right? But the amount of damage we do to ourselves per hit is also smaller because it's a smaller damage weapon.
Yeah.
So we don't have big chunks of our health coming off. Of course, we don't have any block chance because we have, like, no fucking dexterity, right? Our chance to block is 4%.
Hmm.
So, you know. But anyways, our current quest is to go and find Iswal, the fallen angel, in the Plains of Despair, and we're supposed to go and kill him.
Oh. Why?
Because he's Iswal.
Oh.
And Tyrael told us to do it.
Yeah, but do you gain some sort of thing on your way to your goal of destroying Mephisto's shard?
Well, we get a quest reward.
Oh.
You know, as one does.
Oh, I see.
But typically the entrance to this place is usually either in the top right area or in the bottom. That's why I'm hugging the top right. I guess it could be anywhere, you know, these things are randomly generated, right? But I feel like they kind of have a way that they usually are. I don't know, that takes a lot of hits to kill those guys. Now, eventually it's going to take us a shitload of hits to kill anything anyways, even with the amount of damage that we do. Which is why I might even not focus too much more on conviction for normal difficulty and focus more on just doing even more damage. Now, there is something special about conviction, I should say. Some people might not know about, is that conviction aura, if we encounter another enemy who has their own conviction aura, and their conviction aura is stronger than mine, then not only does their conviction aura cancel my conviction aura out, it also means that I would be under the influence of their conviction aura. But enemies with a conviction aura are reasonably rare, so I'm not entirely convinced that it would matter. At least at this stage, they're reasonably rare. And by the time we start to encounter them, I will probably be able to deal with them anyways, because I'll be investing like 20 points in conviction eventually. So what I'll probably do is focus on boosting our damage output more, right? And I can't boost our damage output more right now because I think I have like 19 points in sacrifice. I put one more point in there and then it's maxed out. So a damage synergy for sacrifice is redemption. And so we'll be putting every single level up into redemption in order to boost our damage. And that also has the ability, you know, we can use redemption to heal ourselves. So, kind of a convenience thing.
So how come these guys turn green?
Oh, something I'm using right now does poison damage.
Oh.
Ooh, a Gladius, just a normal Gladius.
It's
I
just
guess that's a
normal
thing.
Gladius.
That's a next level nightmare difficulty short sword.
Oh.
I don't think it's useful to us because it's not magic or anything. Rune scepter, that's a nightmare difficulty scepter. That'll sell for a lot of money, I bet. Anyways, we found the stairs down. We're just killing these guys to clear out the guys who are pursuing us, and then every time we take like a step forward, more guys come. Because you know how it is in hell, they all stand shoulder to shoulder with each other.
Yep.
I just want to get these chests.
There's only one little tiny TV in one room, so they all have to crowd in there, right?
That's right. And of course our hireling, if he decides he wants to walk off to the left or to the right or whatever, like, he'll draw more enemies too, right?
Uh-huh. Hey, that sounds kind of like Fallout 4.
It is.
Where your any companion that you have will give you away while you're sneaking and will attract trouble, right?
That's right. And now we found the Plains of Despair, and Iswal could be anywhere in here. We have no idea where he is, but he's somewhere in here, and we'll just continue wandering around and killing things until we find him.
Wow, who makes up the names for all of these things? Man, oh man.
They probably have like a dedicated guy.
Yeah. They don't just have them randomly created using some sort of program or something?
I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they generate like thousands of names and choose the ones that they think are best.
Yeah.
That would also be a reasonable way to approach the problem. But yeah, our actual chance to hit on most things is only 75%, but we also cut everything's defense rating in half. So I'm kind of relying on that to boost our chance to hit. And that's also another advantage of our maul, is that our maul would let us cut everything's defense rating by 3/4. Because it itself has that inherent effect on it of minus 25% target defense. And then every time we strike a target, they lose defense as well. Ooh, this is a nastier encounter here with the champion enemies. And so I think we're still more likely to hit what we're aiming at with this maul. Also, we have to compensate for the weird sacrifice bugs too. So like sometimes if you stand at certain angles from an enemy, you won't be able to hit them with sacrifice. It's just a bug. So you have to watch. So like for example, I have a lifesteal effect. That's a good way to see that I'm hitting the enemy. Or I think I also have fire hit on something. And if I see that fire hit, that also tells me that I'm hitting the enemy. Yeah, we have a 1 to 2 fire damage. And then, of course, we also have poison damage somewhere. I have no idea where the poison... Oh, the poison damage comes from the helmet, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. I have no idea where the poison damage comes from. We get poison damage from somewhere, damn it.
Oh.
But anyways, eventually damage is going to become a problem on normal difficulty here, because even with how much we invest into damage and how hard we hit right now on Players 8, the enemy health will eventually scale beyond what we can really deal with. So we're just going to be hitting things like 5 times. Which I guess 5 times isn't that bad. It's better than hitting them like 45 times. But yeah, there's the next area up here. I'm just going to make a little stop here on the map just to get this more distinguished so that I can see where it is. Because when it comes time to move on, this is where we'll be heading. Yeah, more great axes. I hate great axes. You know why I hate great axes?
No, I don't.
Because they require dexterity.
Oh. So in your hands, it's actually a mediocre axe.
Well, I can't even wield it, actually, because we don't have any dexterity. We have 20 dexterity.
Oh.
And we're probably always going to have 20 dexterity, which means that the amount of weaponry that we can use as we get further and further into this is going to become increasingly more limited. Hence the reason why we're sticking mostly to blunt weapons, because most blunt weapons don't require dexterity. Although they do also tend to be the slower weapons too, right? Ooh, rare gauntlets. With poison resistance and extra armor, if we needed that. I think we need the fire resistance right now, though. But it's good to know that we have some poison resistance if we needed it. If we don't find them on the outskirts of the level, we might actually have to go back and forth in the middle of the level here just to find them. But I'm sticking to the outskirts just because there's a good chance we could run into them out here.
Oh.
And if we forget the outskirts, then, you know, maybe we run past the outskirts and then, you know, we can't find him and he's, like, standing, like, in a corner somewhere. Right?
When I play these types of games, I have a tendency to explore the edges first anyway. Because I like to see what the limits of the area are.
Yep. These things will actually find corpses on the ground and spit them at you.
Oh.
So that's a thing. I think bastard swords only require strength. But we would need a socketed one. And they're not really great for base damage anyways. Because they're not a maul. There's a few swords that don't require strength, but most swords, especially as you progress on, will require... Or sorry, that don't require dexterity, but most swords that you need as you progress on will require dexterity. Which kind of sucks. You're kind of put between a rock and a hard place, really, where you either need too much strength or too much dexterity. Because you gotta have, like, 300 plus vitality, right?
Yeah. So, assuming that a character class similar to the type that I like to play is available in this game, what kind of technique would you use for battling these big hordes of monsters? Because obviously your character is durable enough that you can stand in there in the middle of all of this, you know, waves and waves of enemies. But if you're an archer type shooting a bow or something like that, like what would your technique be? You'd just hit and run, or
yeah, basically you just hit and run. You just kite them because you can use the control key to sprint, which lets you move faster than most enemies. And so you just like sprint. You'd shoot like this. And then take a couple steps back and shoot. If you're a sorceress, she can teleport, so... You know, obviously she'd teleport around and then shoot.
Yeah, because I certainly can't see some of the lightweight archetypes being able to, you know, like, do what you're doing here, right?
Yeah, well, technically even the Paladin is a lightweight archetype. It's just, I invested most of my level up points into Vitality. And actually, most characters, especially like archer characters and stuff, like the Amazon actually has a stronger hit point gain curve than the Paladin, so she ends up with more hit points at the same vitality level. So, an Amazon would probably have like almost 600 hit points at this point in time with the same vitality.
Oh. I just assumed because you were playing the way that you're playing that this is like a heavy combat specialist type.
I mean, Paladin is more like he's the glass cannon melee character, I guess you could say.
Oh.
So he hits very, very hard, but he has difficulty staying alive. just in general. And that's because he's supposed to also function as a support character, I guess, with all of these wonderful auras that buff people, like this one, which makes mana recovery rates vastly superior, right? Oh, we leveled up at some point and I didn't spend level up. Right, but this one, which would make mana recovery rates vastly superior, that would work, or sorry, wrong aura, this one.
Yeah.
Right, which would basically make everybody regenerate mana as if they were under the effects of a mana shrine, right? And that would be something that any caster party would love. And I mean, every single character class in the game uses mana, so it benefits every single character class to have mana regeneration, right? It's just I basically built this character for not using mana because we have this one unique skill called Sacrifice, which allows us to use our hit points to attack things instead of using mana. And that's because I think the idea of resource management is bullshit. I just want to swing a weapon.
And drink healing potions.
Yeah, well, you end up drinking more healing potions as a result, certainly. Because even with the life stealing, for example, life stealing's less effective, and that sort of thing. But being able to hit things really hard with one strike is nice. And also, being able to, yeah, it's mostly just being able to hit things really hard with one strike is nice. It helps overcome regeneration. It lets you stun enemies so that they can't hit you back. You get to use cool weapons like a maul, like big two-handed weapons. Whereas the typical way to play a melee paladin, two typical ways would either be to play Vengeance. Vengeance is probably more viable because, again, it's kind of like Sacrifice in every other way. Like, we do probably equal damage with Vengeance as we would with our Sacrifice right now. But the problem with Vengeance is that it requires a lot of mana. Like, I think it goes up every single time you level it up by, I think, 0.2. So what's 0.2 times 20?
4?
Yeah, so that'd be like 8 mana per strike. And as you can see, we only have 70 mana right now, right? And you could increase your mana by investing in energy, but you don't want to invest in energy. Because it makes you easier to kill. It doesn't actually make you easier to kill, it's just any level up that you're not investing into Vitality makes you easier to kill.
Oh.
Paladin doesn't have a lot of hit points to begin with.
I just find the whole idea of, like, say if you're playing an archer, why would you need mana? Like, that whole thing is rather odd to my mind.
It's mostly because, in terms of the skill tree, because obviously characters can't spellcast in this game, like most character classes can't spellcast, right? So, to compensate for that, they all have, like, magical special abilities that are inherent in what they do. And those magical special abilities require them to expend mana in order to use them.
Okay.
Yep. Kind of like in Champions.
Yeah, kind of like in Champions. So if you wanted to shoot an ice arrow or whatever, was that him?
Yep, we found him, but we're going to take out the small fries first.
Oh, your buddy's going to die probably, hey?
Yeah, well, he's going to take a bit of a beating, but that's fine. We'll just feed him a healing potion. Yeah, come over here, and I'll whack you. Now, Iswal has a shitload of health. Absolute total shithole. Or shitload of health.
Oh.
So, we might even have to, because we don't have a full stack of healing potions, might even have to go back to town and get more healing potions. Because it's going to take forever.
Oh.
And this is going to set a new trend for unique bosses. Unique bosses from here on out are going to be much, much tougher. So not regular unique monsters, but like boss monsters. Significant boss monsters like Iswal or Diablo. They're all going to be very, very tough. Speaking of which, I can't remember, but I think I was saving super healing potions. So I'll take that out of my belt. As we continue to kill ourselves. See, he's not hitting us at all. We're just killing ourselves. By hitting him over and over.
Oh.
He's firmly focused on our hireling for some reason.
Oh, well, take advantage of it and just, you know, hammer them.
That's exactly what I'm doing. The life stealing is actually a bit easier on the healing potion supply.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if a guy was going to play this character, you'd probably want as much life stealing as possible, right?
It's a very nice convenience. That being said, I'm always going to prioritize doing damage over life stealing. Just because I think being able to kill your enemy quickly is better than having to stand in here and strike them over and over again. And unlike other character builds where we could actually regenerate our health back up to full and be almost like immortal by life stealing, we can't do that because we actually use our life to attack, basically. That being said, though, we also hit harder than most of those builds, too, so... And we don't break our weapons by doing this nearly as fast, so that's another thing, right? Like, the other melee build for a paladin is the Zeal build, where you strike 5 times as fast, but you also break your weapon 5 times as fast, right? So... Okay, we've got Iswal. We'll switch to our other thing and we'll talk to him. He's gonna be like, you know, Tyrael shouldn't have trusted him. He told the evils how to corrupt soul stones, and then, I can't remember what else he did. He stole, like, a sword or something. And he's just telling us that we're screwed, basically.
Oh, and going more, right?
Sort of, I guess. I don't know if that purifies him. I don't know what happens to him after this. I don't even know the lore regarding that. Maybe he goes back to heaven. Maybe he just dies. I have no idea. It's not really important either way. All I know is I think we get a skill point out of this. So now if we go back to town, we talk to Tyrael, he's going to be happy and he's going to be like, yeah, good job, man.
Thank you, hero, for putting Iswal's tortured spirit to rest.
There we go.
May the light protect you and the powers of...
So I guess he's dead, right?
Okay.
But yeah, and then, you know... Oh, we get 2 skill points out of that. I didn't know we got 2. So, we could actually start investing into our redemption aura. Which I'm going to do because it's going to boost our damage. We're actually going to hotkey that aura. So that I can switch between them very quickly. And I guess we'll get to see what that does. But first, I need to do a little bit of bookkeeping. We'll keep that. It's fire resist 9. Sell that, sell that, sell that, sell that. Found another Eth rune. That's always good. I don't know how much a Gladius sells for, probably like 300. 200. But that scepter will sell for 8,000, so...
Wow.
So it's not worth it to pick up a Gladius, but it is kind of worth it to pick up, I don't even know if we have poison resist gloves at this point in time. We have poison resist 7, so those gloves are actually better than our current poison resist gloves. And we only have 1 super healing potion, so we actually need to collect those. We need to make a point of making sure we collect those. I know I haven't been collecting gems in a little while here, but I guess I'll just start putting some gems into the stash again, just to say, like, hey, we collected a few gems. Because we'll get some gems in this act, too. And, I don't know where I've been putting my other Eth runes. I'm glad that we have another Eth rune, but I don't know where I've been putting them. Guess it doesn't really matter. We'll throw it in here. We have lightning resist chainmail now too. That's obsolete. We can sell that. I'll put that ring in there too. The joys of inventory management.
Uh-huh.
And we'll check this guy. See He has any more resist stuff. Fire resist 16, lightning resist 5. Fire resist 7. Lightning resist 25. Well, that might be useful at some point. We'll buy it and then stick it in the stash. Any randomly high damage stuff? 29 to 60. 39 to 66. 7% mana steal. 50 to 77. 61 to 98. Okay, we're buying that now. That's going to be our new Great Maul if we ever use it. 61 to 98. That's really good damage. Yeah, and that one's mana stealing, so the stealing actually doesn't benefit us at all. 61 to 98 damage. That would literally double our damage right now. I totally don't know. We had a lightning resist 19 helmet before. Now we have a lightning resist 25 helmet. So possibly I can redo our resistances after this, just because we have a better lightning resist helmet now. It would mean giving up this poison resist helmet, which also has the life stealing though, so not sure I want to do that just yet. I don't think this lady will have anything for us. We can check her anyways. Cold resist 23, we already got better than that. So it's time to go back to killing things, because that's what we're all here for.
What are you supposed to do now?
What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
Well, now that I've killed him, I need to go to the Hellforge, and that's going to mean going to the River of Flame. So we need to find the River of Flame. And it's over this way. Some ways. Come on, hireling.
He's stuck on the other side of the doorway.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. It gets annoying.
It's just like in Fallout 4 where you have a fence around your settlement and there's a gate. And the NPC keeps running into the fence next to the gate over and over and over because they can't actually find the gate to walk through it.
Yep. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Speaking of which, you know how I was talking about my broken mouse last time, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was looking to buy a new mouse, and it looks like laser mice have just completely fallen out of fashion these days. Everybody wants a high DPI optical mouse.
Why?
Well, the thing about laser mice is they have a bit of acceleration on them. So they tend to go from like slow-ish to fast. Whereas optical mice are the same speed no matter what you move them at, right?
Oh. Well, for gaming, that sounds better.
What, the optical mice?
Yeah.
Well, the thing about them is, though, is they don't function as well on non-conventional mouse surfaces.
Oh, okay. So you need a mouse pad.
Yeah, you need a mouse pad for a proper optical mouse.
Because for this one right now, you're just using the arm of the chair.
That's right, because you can use whatever. I mean, like, I've got kind of a ghetto gaming PC setup. At my place, I actually have my gaming PC set up in my bedroom next to my bed. So I just lay in bed and play games on my gaming PC, right? But, of course, if you're using a mouse on a bedspread or a bed sheet, well, it doesn't work so well, right? But if you have a laser mouse, then it works just fine.
Well, with the setup I've got here, with a basically a recliner sitting next to a coffee table that happens to be on the left, there isn't really a surface to put a mouse pad on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably buy like a small mouse pad, and then like, even if you had like a small soft rubberback mouse pad.
Yeah.
And then you could just wrap it around the arm of the chair here. But that would mean actually buying said mouse pad, and it's just like, well, fuck that.
Well, I don't use the mouse that much anyways, but...
I thought I picked up a super healing potion at one point. But I guess not.
So, that cordless mouse that I have for my laptop, it must also be a laser mouse then, huh?
No, it would be an optical mouse.
Oh, is it? Okay,
But,
because it's kind of worse on the chair arm too, a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's going to depend on the surface, right? Like, chair arms generally work pretty good for optical mice. Bedspreads really not so much.
Ah. You need a somewhat firm surface then.
Yeah. Whereas laser mice, I mean, you know, bedspread works perfectly fine. Also, glass tables. If you had, like, a glass table, I think a laser mouse will work on that. Whereas I think optical mice really struggle with that.
Yeah, probably, because they don't detect the glass, right?
Yeah.
As a surface.
Yeah. But, you know, these things come in fads, and the fads are what determine the market, not my personal preferences.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's the way it goes.
Well, and also, you know what? The PC gaming crowd that uses mouse and keyboard, most of them, they probably either have one of those specialty chairs, or they sit at a desk, right?
Well, not only that, but then they also really, really, really love their RGB stuff. That's why so much stuff is like RGB. Like your RAM sticks in your machine are RGB, and it's not because when I built that machine I thought that RGB RAM sticks would be like the greatest thing ever. It's just because the RAM sticks that were on sale happened to be RGB RAM sticks.
Ah.
Right. So I don't know. I've never really cared about the RGB stuff. If every computer was a gray or black box, I really wouldn't care. Or beige box. I am not at all invested in the appearance of my PC. I just want it to have the performance that I want. Right? As long as you can have smooth frame rates and, you know, decent loading times. That's really all that matters to me. And have things look nice. Because I'm not looking at my computer, right? When I'm playing games.
No.
And you actually have a screen in front of yours, because you actually have your machine sitting up off the ground. Mine actually sits on the rug on a floor.
Yeah. Well, that being said, though, we are in a basement here, right? So, I figured it would be a good idea to have it 2 or 3 feet off the floor, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Probably. But yeah, and so, you know, I don't know. I've never been into the whole RGB thing. You can do like all kinds of things to trick these things out, like with PCI riser cables and things like that. Put your graphics card on display behind the big glass window in your case, which is why almost every case sold has these glass windows now and things like that. And it's just like, I don't give a shit about any of that. It's getting to a point where I might even just build myself a computer case out of plywood.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. Use the half sheet of plywood and just have everything bolted to it, right?
Yeah.
And that way, you know, the reason that I thought about doing that for a computer build someday is ease of service too, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to take apart a case and all that kind of stuff. You just, you know, take the screws out that hold that component to the plywood and unhook the cables, and you're good, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a homemade version of a computer test bench.
Yeah. And
although probably more suitable for actually building a desktop out of.
And you would need longer cable harnesses probably, right? Because your components would be spaced further apart. But I don't really see that as being a bad thing.
Well, the thing is, too, a lot of cables as well tend to have a lot of slack in them.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you were to get a sheet of plywood similar to your current case, I mean, you know, probably, you could probably get away with that just fine without having to have any special extensions or anything. Because you've got a big case. You've got, like, the CM Cooler Master Stormtrooper case, which is like a big case.
Well, it's heavy even when it's empty, that's for sure.
Yeah, I actually used to have one too, although because I have my machine flat on the rug, obviously I have to move my machine when I go to vacuum. And I can't remember exactly how it happened, but the case actually, for as heavy as it is, the geniuses who decided to make the case decided to make the feet out of plastic.
Oh, okay.
And so I actually...
So the feet came off.
Yeah, I actually broke one of the feet, and then it's just a screw underneath the foot, so you either take out the screw and have the thing sit completely flat on the ground, or you buy a new case. And in my case, I just bought a new case, which was somewhat similar to the old case, actually. I found some random off-brand Chinese case, which had the exact same dimensions and form factor as this case, or at least close enough to it, and that's what I ended up using. Yeah. I think our hireling is taking a bit of a beating over here. While I'm just sitting here looking at this random charm, garbage charm that we picked up.
Yeah, ooh, something shiny.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll feed him a healing potion, he'll be good. Now what we're looking for is basically a staircase to the River of Flame. We haven't found it yet. Or maybe I walked past it while I was talking about my desktop setup. But I'm pretty sure we haven't found it yet. Super healing potion, we're trying to get those. We actually need to go back to town. Sell some of this crap. Lightning resist 7, we've got way better than that. Jewel of 9 to maximum damage. I don't know when that'll be useful, but I guess we can keep it around. Jewel of cold resist plus 8, that probably will also never be useful, but we'll keep it around. And we have this spear, and this other super healing potion. And that charm. But yeah, I'm not an RGB guy. I'm not visually driven.
Well, I mean, who cares what the case looks like? You're looking at the screen anyway.
Exactly. That's how I see it.
Okay, well, I'm sure that some people like that kind of thing, though, and...
Yeah, well, some people are, like I said, some people are big fans of it. There's actually a pretty, I guess, it was inspired to be a big component of the enthusiast market, if you consider custom PCs to be an enthusiast market.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just like, I don't care. Even with the way I configure my desktop to look and everything else, I mean, everything I do is just like, you know, does it work? Good, then let's play some games. Like, you have all these fancy wallpapers of castles and things on your machine.
I like castles, though. Castles are cool.
My wallpaper is a black screen.
Yeah.
It's just black. I don't have a wallpaper. I don't use wallpapers for anything.
Yeah. In fact,
I'm just like...
Remember that one castle that we were looking at where it was a square fortification completely surrounded by water?
Yep.
Well, I actually managed to look up and find that castle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's in England somewhere. And it was built to be a defensive military fortification. It doesn't even have a central keep like most castles do.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically a rectangular shaped curtain wall with towers every so often.
Ah.
And they basically built such a big moat around the thing that it looks like it's sitting in the middle of a small lake, right?
Yep.
And it had, I forget now the name of it. It started with a B. You know, it was Castle B something or other, but I can't remember the name of it now.
Well, for redneck purposes, redneck Canadian purposes, Castle B something or other is probably good enough.
But the one that I was not able to find, because I was actually able to find and look up a few of the castles on those pictures.
Yep.
Because if you search castle pictures, Well, sometimes you can get this sort of website to come up that has all these pictures, and if you click on the picture, it has a little 2 or 3 sentence description, including the castle's name, and then if you want more information, you can look up the castle by name, and it gives you the history of it and who built it and what it was for and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
And wow,
River of Flame.
yeah, and the one that I was not able to find is that really ruined-looking white stone castle that sits on top of that spire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find that one. But it looks like, for all intents and purposes, that castle would be unassailable because it's like a sheer rock cliff, like that looks like it's about 100 feet tall, with a 30-foot high curtain wall on top of it, right?
Yep.
And the castle itself is built right into the rock, like it was for however many hundreds of years ago. It looks like this thing is probably because some of these castles are 1,000 years old or more, right?
Most of the time, I think castles such as that, they don't necessarily get destroyed because they were destroyed. They kind of more just fall into ruin from disuse.
That's right. There are a lot of old ruined towers and stuff like that in places like Scotland too, where they're ruined to the point where half of the stones have fallen away and stuff like that. And it's just because whoever built them, well, generations after they were built, they were no longer used. Because I guess that fortifications like that at some point became no longer useful, right?
Well, or even just the particular area never saw much conflict or something either. I guess that's also possible. Or in real conflicts that they did see, they probably didn't use that particular fortification. Yeah. So then it was just not maintained. But there can be all kinds of reasons.
But anyway, I would love to know more about that castle, because that looks like it would have been incredibly difficult to build because of the location of it.
Indeed, yeah.
But I'll bet you a lot of these fortifications fell into disuse too, just because of their location.
Yeah, because lots of them tended to be...
Lots of them tended to be sitting right up on the top of a mountain peak or something like that. And they're so far away from any, other centers of civilization that they became strategically no longer necessary, right?
Yeah.
At one time, maybe, an invader might think twice because there's an army sitting in this castle on top of this mountain that they can't attack, but it's always there sitting at their back, right? It's... they can't occupy the territory when they invade because they always have to worry about these guys who could come out and attack them and then retreat back into their castle again, right?
Yep.
Maybe that's kind of what the use of them was.
Or maybe also to outlast a besieging army.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they can take the place, so if you can sit inside the castle and you have enough food stores to outlast them, then, and they're far away from home and far away from civilization, and you've got your own little self-sufficient society in there, then, I guess you're not going to go hungry.
Oh well. Anyway.
I'm sure there are all kinds of reasons.
It just struck me as strange that you see this castle on top of a mountain, and there isn't anything anywhere near it for miles, right?
Yep.
So, and it's not like they're guarding a position or anything like that, which means that they must be a fallback point of some sort.
I can't actually get those things in that corner there.
Oh.
They're like totally blocked.
You forgot to bring your shotgun with you, hey?
I don't think he can get them either, and he's got a spear, which is like as long as it gets.
Oh well, I guess if they're trapped in there, they can't come after you either.
Yeah, pretty much. So our particular river of flame here looks like it has a branching path in it. So one of those paths is going to be to, what the fuck's it called? I have no idea where it leads.
The shard destroyer thingamajig?
I'm assuming so, but, you know, you don't really know until you actually go down the path, right? Which is why we're kind of going down this way.
Oh. But anyway, yeah, lots of my wallpapers are castles because I like castles. I like looking at them, you know, like I can just sit there and look at it and just think and imagine what the people must have been like that built these places and why they would go to that kind of effort over a period of years.
Yep.
Because that's how long it would take to build one of these things, right?
Yep.
You know, in some cases, some of these castles probably took decades to build, right?
Or more. And meanwhile, I'm just like black screen. My wallpaper is a black screen.
Yeah.
Although I have practical reasons, and that is like some very old games don't have like proper full screen modes that work anymore.
Yeah.
And so what I'll do is I'll run the game in a window, and then I've actually got like a piece of software that can blow up the window to like full screen size. And if it has to have black borders on it, because it's like, you know, 4:3 aspect ratio game on a 16:9 monitor, well, the black wallpaper serves as black borders.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, whereas here, I can see one of the wallpapers I have that's not a castle, and that's a photograph taken from an airplane wing looking at an island.
That's right, yep.
And I can see just around the edges the wing of the airplane, or part of it. It looks like a biplane too, like it's got two wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suspect this is going to be where the forge is. Down this way.
But anyway, it gives you kind of a comparison too of how slowly... Is this a boss here or what?
Yep, that's the armorer.
Okay.
And like all these other forge type guys, he's extra strong and all sorts of other things.
Yep.
Just take a step back here and let the healing potion take effect, and he can beat on the hireling who has a way higher armor class than we do.
But anyway, as I was saying, that because these castles, some of them would take, you know, decades to build, it kind of gives you an idea of how much more slowly things advanced back then than they do now. Because if technology advanced as quickly then as it has in the past 100 years here, well then, you know, like the castles would have been obsolete by the time they were built, right?
Yeah. Oh, we can't pick that up. Well, we leveled up.
Yep.
See all those little beetle things, or whatever the hell they are. The main purpose they just serve is to block your movement, right?
Oh.
Hireling man is dying. We'll just feed him a healing potion. But yeah, that was the armor for the Hellforge, so we are in the Hellforge area. We've made it. Yeah, some of the places here on the River of Flame, they're very bright. They actually make me squint. And since we're here, I'm just going to clear out this area, right?
Yeah.
Because there's so many enemies densely packed together in this small area, I don't really feel bad about fully clearing it. Not like fully clearing some of these areas where you have to walk and walk and walk and walk and walk.
Oh, is that the place you're looking for on top of that platform there?
Yep, that's the place. Hellforge.
Geez, you should go up the steps and then maybe only a couple of them can attack you at once.
I'd like to be able to move around, though.
Oh.
Because we do, after all, still use our life to attack ourselves, so I want to make sure that I always have a room to back up if I need to let a healing potion take effect or something. Since they do work over time, of course. Somebody moving a chair up there.
Sounds like it, yep. Well, you finally ran out of enemies.
What does that do? Oh, it's worthless. Too bad. Well, we can level up now. Get to 140 vitality.
So what happens when you destroy this shard? Does it actually kill Mephisto then, or what?
I would assume so. I'm just gonna say yes, because, you know, they never did come out with Diablo 3. That game was never released, so...
Why, what was the idea in Diablo 3? Was that these guys would all be resurrected again, or what?
I'm not even gonna get into it.
Oh. No, just hypothetically, if there was a Diablo 3.
Hypothetically, if there was a Diablo 3, well, hypothetically, I guess Diablo's back.
Oh. Well,
and because of the plot in this game, well, I swung at that and I missed. Our dexterity's so fucking bad, I couldn't even hit the goddamn stone on the fucking anvil.
Oh, so what's happening now?
Well, we destroyed his soul stone, and I guess that was his soul? I have no idea.
Oh.
Yeah, claymores are another sword that don't require dexterity. That's why we were using one earlier in this playthrough.
I see.
We ended up getting like a bunch of perfect gems from this, plus 150 to attack rating, plus 1 to 30 lightning damage, plus, you know, some good stuff. Some mess stuff, but some good stuff. Also starting to run low on healing potions, but it looks like we should just go back to town, because I want to pick up that breastplate that's laying there.
What do you need?
So yeah, we're getting more and more and more hit points. Yeah, that staff sold for 20,000.
Yeah, but is that inflation though? Like that 20,000 is more like 100 gold was like at the beginning of the game, or what?
It's getting to be that way, yeah.
And where's all this gold coming from? Who's minting all of these millions of coins?
I don't know, man. Maybe when you kill demons, they just kind of collect all this gold as, like, keepsakes.
Yeah.
And then all the human civilizations have to mint more gold because all their gold is gone. Right?
Yeah. But what country are you in? Like, who rules this place?
I think we're actually at the gates of heaven going into hell.
Oh.
So,
okay, but they have a gold-based economy too?
Everyone has a gold-based economy.
Yeah.
Somehow.
See, that's one thing I will say about the Elder Scrolls series. At least their monetary system makes sense.
Ha!
Right?
Poison resist 20 boots. I did see a cold resist helmet there. I wonder what our cold resist helmet is like. We have one? Fire resist 18? No, we have 2 fire resist helmets. We can sell one of them. I don't think we have a cold resist helmet.
No.
Oh, yes, we do. It's this thing, 23. So buying that other helmet I don't think would make a difference. But we do have some poison resist boots now.
So you'll go to that merchant and they'll have the what the fuck is he thinking cap.
Ah!
And it'll be like 100 cold resistance.
I would totally buy that. Just for the cold resistance. But anyways, pressing on here, we need to continue.
Oh, why? What are you supposed to do now?
Well, now we're technically supposed to kill Diablo, but we probably won't get to that this episode, I'd assume.
Oh, probably not. Because you've been at this for a little over an hour now.
That's right, yeah.
But you're nearing the end of the game already?
Not the end of the game, just the end of this act.
Oh,
there's another act after this.
So Diablo, even though it's his name on the game title, it doesn't last for the whole game?
Well, it's because we're playing the expansion pack.
Oh.
So the original game obviously ends here. But
Really?
the expansion pack does not.
Huh. So the original game, then, you actually didn't get that many hours of playtime out of it, right?
Well, to be fair, we also went really fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the Sweater Vest Gamer does say you are a murder hobo.
I mean, these games really don't have that much story to them anyways, let's be honest. The developers knew that they were making a game where you run around and you kill shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the hordes of enemies you face and things like that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually. He made a comment on one of our videos earlier today in Fallout New Vegas. And he's way back at like episode 6 or something. And you were talking about how we got to Novak and you went, holy cow, there's a huge dinosaur standing in the middle of Novak. I never noticed that before. And he called you a murder hobo because you didn't even notice the giant dinosaur in the middle of Novak. If it doesn't involve, you know, sticking the pointy end of thing into bad guy, you don't even notice or care.
No, pretty much. I don't even notice details on, like, the scenery or things like that, right? Not unless I've been through it countless times anyways.
But anyway.
But the way I see it is basically story is the excuse for the video game to exist to allow you to kill things.
Well,
right.
When you break it right down like that, then yes, you are actually correct.
That's right.
But the story is something that a lot of people need in order to make a reason for killing things.
I know, but you see,
there has to be a justification for it.
I would say, you know what? The very earliest video games really didn't have any story.
Yeah.
So,
but as people have, you know, become, I guess, more jaded or more sophisticated or whatever you want to call it, then you know, like they want that kind of thing more, right?
They're all a bunch of filthy casuals. That's what they are.
And that's one thing that I will say is that, you know, some game franchises are very strong in that area, right? And as much as I disagree with the direction that their game took after Dragon Age 1, I have to say that the Dragon Age series had very strong stories, right?
Yeah.
Like the stories, the stories, particularly Dragon Age 3, the stories particularly made you care about the characters, you know?
Oh, I hate caring about characters.
But, you know, like, again, though, I didn't like the way that...
the moral conundrums get me, and the...
though, that kind of thing I could do without, but, I mean, there was some... In Dragon Age 3, there was some really cool sequences, like, after the first big battle with the supervillain there, and you end up stranded out in the middle of nowhere making your way through a snowstorm and almost freezing to death and all that kind of stuff, and then... because you managed to save all of these people in this village, they almost elevate you to the point of a saint kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You know? And the way that they did it, it was very, I guess, emotionally impacted, you know?
Now see, there's the problem right there.
That being said, most of that game I found to be repetitive And
from a gameplay perspective.
From a gameplay perspective, I didn't like the fact that every time I went through the same area, because you'd have to cross back and forth through the same area multiple times in order to do various, fetch quests and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that all the enemies that you had killed 5 minutes earlier were back as soon as you come back through that area again.
Yep.
I thought, and there are other games that do that too, and I don't like, that's one of the things I don't like about some of those other games too, right?
Yep.
Dragon's Dogma was guilty of that too, right?
Yep.
Where you'd end up killing the same flock of harpies every time you went through this valley, even if you only went through there 5 minutes earlier, right?
Yep.
And to me, that's immersion breaking, because you're not actually cleaning them out. All you're doing is you're just destroying the same encounter over and over and over.
But yeah, I've never really been big on the whole emotional connection thing in games, and it's probably because of the very methodical mindset I have, being a computer programmer and all.
Yeah.
I mostly just kind of look at things very matter-of-factly. And she's like, no, why would you do that? No, I don't agree with that decision.
Well, I mean, even the old gold box D&D sets, right?
Yeah.
They had a story too.
Yep.
Right?
In those manuals and everything.
And there was there was a purpose for you to go into the city of Plan and explore and kill monsters and stuff, right? Because there was a big bad that was menacing the people there, right?
There was a justification to go and kill things.
Yeah, exactly. There was a justification for it. There was a reason for doing it. You weren't just going in there just because it's there.
I mean, hey, Diablo 1 technically has a reason for going into that 16-floor dungeon and killing things.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Not that you have to pay attention to it at all, and not that we did. At all.
But still, I mean, people want the details. They want to have almost like the experience of watching a movie.
Yeah, oh man.
Kind of
See,
thing,
that
right?
actually drives me insane, because especially at the turn of the millennia, you started getting a lot more video games that were basically like movies, right? Like interactive movies. And I actually use that term as a pejorative term, right? Because I really despised some of the types of games that would come out like that, because they would be so non-gameplay focused. That actually really drove me crazy, but it seems like that kind of thing is very popular. It has kind of merged, so you have like both gameplay and story now. But for me, I could just do without the story. That's why if we ever play story-oriented games on the channel here, I'm gonna make you do all the story shit, and then I'll just go around killing things, and you can figure out how to get us the good ending. That's your job.
Yeah.
I just want to go from point A to point B and kill things.
Yeah. Well, I know.
And I'm really good at it, too.
Some time ago, I know we mentioned the possibility of doing a Cyberpunk playthrough, but...
That's right, yeah.
And we probably will get to that eventually. It's just that we've got too many other things on the go right now. But,
See, it'll be lots of fun to get good at killing things in that game, too, right? Because killing things in that game is fun.
Yeah, exactly. What I have to say about Cyberpunk is that... the one glaring thing that I don't like about it is that they should have given you the ability to toggle between first and third person.
Yeah, you're not a big first person guy.
Well, the problem is, in that game, there's lots of frantic action and you're up against multiple enemies. And what I'm doing is I'm moving around and I'm, trying to evade attacks and make my own attacks. And then suddenly I'll bump into something and I can't move anymore. And if I look down, it's a guardrail that's like knee height that I've bumped into.
Yep.
But because I'm in first-person perspective with only like an 80-degree cone of view, well, if I'm looking at the enemy that I'm trying to kill, I can't actually see the knee-high guardrail at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And then I get clobbered or otherwise have bad things happen to me because I wasn't able to jump over that guardrail in a timely manner, right? Because I didn't see it there. And, like, even now, like, I'm sitting here and I know that I have a peripheral vision that extends out to at least 140 degrees, right?
Yep.
And possibly, some people, depending on the individual, may have the ability to perceive things almost in a 180 degree arc.
Well, and not
right?
just left and right, but also up and down.
Yes, and also up and down. So in that particular situation I just described in the game, if I were actually, looking out of my own eyes, I would have noted that guardrail to be there.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, I might not have went and given it the hairy eyeball and went, ooh, guardrail, but I would have known that enough that it was there that I would have been able to step over it or otherwise jump over it, right?
Yep.
When I needed to. And that's the drawback to first-person games, in my opinion, and you have to
develop techniques to compensate.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to. Actually, I would imagine that it wouldn't be much of a stretch for you to play that game after playing Oblivion a lot, because the way that you play Oblivion,
I look around a lot.
You are constantly panning your view around all over the place, right?
That's right. Yep.
And whereas I find that kind of thing to be very disorienting, and I have trouble doing it, right?
I think it's a focus thing with the eyes, right? Like the way that I use my eyes, I tend to focus on a point, so I'm not seeing like the big, like fast panning of the peripherals. I'm actually just focusing on the center of the screen, kind of thing. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, but anyway, just because of your, I guess, skill at being able to do that, you'd probably fit into the, like the spatial awareness part of playing Cyberpunk just fine, right?
Yeah, probably. Although I'm by no means good at first-person games, but yes, probably.
Yeah. For me, though, I find that the first-person aiming, especially the way that they have most of their firearms and stuff designed in that game, is definitely a very good system, right? Like, even I can aim and shoot and hit what I'm aiming at most of the time, right?
Yep.
And, like, so that part I don't have any complaints about, but I would definitely, especially because they have a melee combat system in that game that's pretty good, like it's very fast and very smooth. And, like, so playing a melee character in that game is actually a perfectly valid choice too, but for me, playing a melee character, I would prefer to be able to do that in third person, right?
Yep.
I'm fine with shooting guns and things like that in first person because it is actually easier to hit what you're aiming at if you can aim down the sights. But if you're going to hit somebody with a sword or a bat or something like that, well, like, I don't think you need that kind of precision.
Although you can make use of that precision if you can actually make a use of it, like as you saw in the Oblivion playthrough. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but then again, though, I also, in Oblivion and in Skyrim, I show off, like, my ability to, do a combat effectively in third person too, right?
Yep.
And I use the space, and I use my mobility within the space, that as a tactical, thing, right?
Wow, that stun is just annoying. Get stunned like 4 times in a row.
You need a thicker helmet.
Yeah, really. Look at all those wonderful fancy weapons that I can't use because I have no dexterity. I think Flamberge is the fastest two-handed sword out of the normal rated two-handed swords. I can't use it because we don't have any dexterity. It requires like 70 dexterity.
Well, it's probably too late to start working on that now.
I was never going to work on it to begin with. Because it requires, oh, what is it? We'll just pick it up. We'll take a look at it, right? Okay, it's like 70 strength, 49 dexterity, but still, that's a lot of dexterity for a sword. And 70 strength is what we have now, so we would need like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We would need like 6 more levels to be able to use this thing effectively. And it would do less damage than our current weapon.
Throw it away. That it's garbage.
Unless you have the stats already, right? But I'd rather have the damage, and, you know, I don't think that we're that much slower. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, and obviously we can stun enemies when we hit them. I wouldn't be able to stun enemies with a weapon that light. I don't think. Some kind of really, really crappy battle axe. Rare battle axe.
Oh.
It isn't worth it at all.
So why'd you pick it up?
Because it was rare, so I wanted to see what it did.
Oh.
So then I identified it and found out that it was garbage.
Oh. It's the battle axe of
Hot garbage.
Drop Me Again?
Well, it's a battle axe of sell me in the store.
Oh.
Probably sell it in the store. That guy's out in the fucking lava.
Yeah, you can't hit him.
Oh, he can hit him with the spear.
Yeah?
Sort of. For a little while. Now he's stuck again.
Ah, well. Don't worry about it then. Obviously, he can't do any harm to you either.
Yeah, well, he ran out of things to attack us with because he spits corpses.
Yeah?
And there are no corpses out there, so he can't do anything, and apparently he can't move either.
Just think, if you had a bow, you could kill him.
Yeah, fuck that idea.
Your buddy's there, he still wants to go after him.
Yeah, well, you know, he'll come along eventually if I get far enough away.
So what's the point of this whole exercise then? You've got to make your way through the river lava type area to another exit, or what?
That's right, I'm looking for another exit, and we haven't found the other exit yet. Surprisingly enough, we've taken every single wrong turn possible before finding the exit.
Yeah, well, you know, there was that other one time when you were really lucky and found what you were looking for in the first try, right?
Yeah, so, you know, I guess 6 of one or half a dozen of the other.
It's just luck of the draw. Ooh, sound effects.
Yep, gotta put that gem away. Even though I'm pretty sure we already have like 1,000,000 fucking gems. At this point, I don't think it matters. Cold resist 18. I'm always looking to get more resistances, even though we already have decent resistances.
Yeah.
Because maybe I can get even better resistances. And I look for those malls too to see if there's another like really strong mall available or something.
Mall of shopping.
Yeah, there you go, the mall of shopping.
Or shopping for a mall.
Shopping for a mall? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. As opposed to shopping in a mall.
Imagine if the mall was mall-shaped.
Yeah, but would you really be able to tell? It would be just like one long, skinny hallway with a wider area at one end.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to fly your drone up above and take a look at it from the top down. Anyways, we have found the exit here. Finally.
Ooh.
And there's this guy here who, if we hadn't smashed Mephisto's soulstone, would tell us to fucking go back and do that, which you could just ignore.
Go back and do that, you lazy bastard.
You could just ignore him and go ahead anyways.
Oh,
but
well, then what's the point in doing that then?
It's just like to dissuade players from like moving on, right?
Oh.
But yeah.
Only by opening each of these seals can you clear your way to the final battle.
Okay. Well, does this look like a good place to stop?
Well, probably. I think I'm gonna go back though, since we've just got a little bit of time, and just find some other stuff to kill and finish clearing out this area. Polish off the episode. Because why waste time when we could at least get some experience points?
Oh, I see.
In fact, we could actually even just press into that area a little bit, just map it out, and just start killing stuff for experience. Yeah, with a skill shrine we do 360 to 555 damage. Oh yeah, and redemption is another skill that I haven't demoed. Well, I kind of inadvertently demoed it, but I like didn't really pay attention. Or mention what I was doing at all. So basically, we start to kill shit the way we normally do, right? And then as shit dies, their corpses stay there, right?
Okay.
But, as you know, as I fight, I lose health.
Yeah.
So I switch over to redemption, and I redeem the dead for life. and heal myself.
Oh. Okay. That looks like a pretty good ability.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's you know, useful in non-boss battle scenarios. It doesn't really matter for us because, you know, I'm not necessarily too concerned about healing. The reason why I'm investing into it is because it indirectly boosts our damage for sacrifice. But, you know, it kind of acts as a stand-in for healing potions if I remember to use it.
You should use that all the time. Because there's like a bazillion enemies.
I know, but I've got to make sure that I have my fanaticism aura up or else I can't hit anything, right? So it's more of like an after-combat kind of thing that you would do?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like this. And it's also based on a percentage chance, so our base chance right now is 42%, but I think that gets tried over and over and over again the longer we stand there.
Yeah, it probably gets
Re-rolled.
re-rolled, yeah.
I'm gonna be so glad when we're out of this River of Flame area. This area is just too bright on my eyes. Damn it, why does hell have to be so bright? Why can't they have, like... I need a pair of sunglasses to play this game. It's like Moron got himself stuck on the other side of the river.
Yep, he's stuck.
Yeah, goddamn stun. Oh, he actually found his way.
Yep.
Look at that. And I guess we can find some more super healing potions. I wanted to have like a full stack of super healing potions before fighting Diablo. There's no way that's going to happen. We just didn't find enough of them.
Why, is he tougher than Mephisto was, or what?
Yo, yeah. He totally much tougher. In fact, he has some stuff that we're not going to be able to fight him the way we normally do, where we just kind of stand in enemies. In previous patches, you used to be able to do that, actually. You used to be able to just stand in and whack on him. You can't really do that anymore, and it's because they patched some of his abilities to both do physical and magic damage.
Oh.
Which is also kind of dumb, and then also there was a range issue where you could stand really, really close to him with a really short weapon, like a dagger or something, to get into closing distance, and then repeatedly just hit him over, switch weapons then once you get into really close range, and repeatedly hit him over and over again while you're in that close range, and he'd cast spells and they'd all go over your head. But they patched that out too some years ago. So you can't make use of that either. And so basically the way I typically fight him these days is I just get like a absolutely shitload pile of hit points and don't stand in one place for too long. That's kind of how you handle that. I have no idea if this actually will benefit us if we do this. If we, like, activate our redemption. I don't know if redemption makes corpses disappear, or if it affects the way that corpses are used. I don't pay attention to these things nearly enough. Yeah, I guess it makes the corpses disappear.
Does it?
Yeah, so anything that raises corpses, or spits corpses, or attacks with corpses, or uses corpses to regenerate, if we redeem them, then those corpses don't exist.
Oh, well, there you go. There's a good reason to do that.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know that. But yeah, so that also means because I'm clearing this area, it will, we'll have to re-clear it when we come back in the next episode. But because I wanted to just get some experience points here, I figured there was no harm in clearing it now, and it was the nearest pool of enemies. Because I could have gone back to any of the other areas that we went through and cleared those. It just would have taken longer to walk. As you can see, this area is pretty densely packed with enemies too, right?
Yep.
And plus, once we know the way through this area, we'll be able to walk more straightforwardly through it. I can't remember if redemption is based on a percentage of life. No, it's just a flat life amount. So every corpse we redeem gives us 35 points of life. It also gives us mana, but of course we don't use mana, so we don't care about mana. I mean, our hireling doesn't have mana, so why should we have mana? There's your logic for you.
Uh-huh.
Your hireling is like way more effective at combat than you, except certain boss monsters get like a bonus to damage and chance to hit against your hireling. And they just like kill them outright most of the time. And I guess this also lets us pick up a couple more of those super potions, super healing potions, if we're trying to find some of those, right?
Something is shooting fireballs at you.
I think it's just the lava shooting at me.
Oh, is that just like the local weather or something?
Yeah, it's like in Mario, right?
Oh, okay.
You know. Anyways, this is where we need to be. As soon as we come in here, we get the quest that we need to, you know, find Diablo and kill him. And this is probably a good place to stop the episode, because we're not actually going to be able to do this in time.
Yeah.
It's going to take us like 30 minutes to do this.
Well, I guess. This is probably a good place to call it an episode, then.
Indeed.
Alright.
So, until next time.
I'm Sandman99.
And I'm RecV5. Have a good one.